Hey guys, welcome to lesson 3 where we're going to talk about string operations. So string, remember, is just text. So the first thing we're going to talk about with strings is concatenation, where you're basically just going to be merging text together. And go to File, New Java Project, call it lesson 3. Remember to keep naming the same, and finish. Go into source and hit new Java class. And I'm just going to name this practice 3. Hit finish. Readjust your bracket. And then type in our typical skeleton. So public, static, void, main, and in parentheses, string, args, and open close bracket. Don't forget you have to come to the next line and do an open bracket, and then it automatically creates that close bracket for you. And we're going to make our block on the top, but I'm going to show you guys a quick trick. So the backslash and then do an asterisk and press enter. And now you've entered yourself a block of comments. So author, date, and then lesson 3 string operations. And then notice that you have to have that one last line of the asterisk and the backslash. Because otherwise, if it put it before the or after the backslash, it's part of the program. So come into your program, and we're going to declare a string called first name. Don't forget your semicolon. So now we've declared first name, we need to initialize it. So first name equals, and then whatever your first name is. Now, I bet you're wondering why we are declaring in one line and initializing in another. So one of the things you can do is you can actually declare multiple variables in one line. So after string first name, right in between the E and the semicolon, do comma last name. So now you have 2 variables declared in one line. And I'm actually going to go put that back in my notes for lesson 2. So where you have declare, you can put down, I'm going to put an example in there, but that you can declare more than one variable per line. And now we need to initialize last name. So again, make another one. It's called last name. And put in whatever your last name is. And don't forget that semicolon. I'm going to declare one more variable called full name. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say that my full name equals first name plus last name. Okay, and then you can come down and do a system.out.println and print full name. And don't forget a semicolon. And then let's go ahead and click run. And it says there's an error, so let's look. All right, so when I put in last name, I put in a lowercase n. So make sure you go back and fix that and then run it. All right, and it printed me right together. So note that we didn't have anything else in there, so it printed them with no spaces. So if you put a space after your first name and then run it, it'll print normal. The other way to put a space in would be to put in your full name. You could do first name plus and then do quotes, space, end quotes, plus last name. So then it takes your first name, adds in a space, and adds in the last name. All right, so what I want you to do is copy this system.out.println down below and paste it, but after full name, do dot length, and see it starts suggesting stuff, and then do open close parentheses. So what this is going to do is it's going to count the length of whatever full name variable is. So if you press run, it says that it's 16 letters long, but it's only 14 letters long. This is 4 letters, Spaunhorst is 10, but it counts both those spaces that we put in. So anytime that you have spaces in there, it's going to count them. I also want to show you something that ln does. So remember before we did print instead of print ln? So if you take ln off of this first one, the first full name, and press run, it does Spaunhorst 16, even though the ln is there. What ln does is it puts a space after this line has run, or puts an enter after this line is run. So even though this line said print on a new line, it puts the new line after it. I know you're probably sitting there wondering why we need to actually know the length of a string, but trust me, later in the semester, you will be very grateful for it. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make a comment line, not two comment lines, just one, on concatenating strings together. And in my notes, I'm going to put using plus sign. That's what you use. And put a little bit in here about the length method, which finds the number of characters in a string, and then you would set it up like this. We have some more manipulations with strings to do, so go ahead and save practice 3, and then move on to the second video for lesson 3.